It's the Anfield Wrap post-match pint after Liverpool 1, PSV Eindhoven 4. I'm Neil Docking here with Kev Walsh and John Gibbons. And to be honest, I can't believe I'm saying those words. I can't believe I'm saying that scoreline. I think in the last few weeks, I've been in denial about how bad Liverpool are. And I don't know if I just had like an unshakable belief that at some point they'd start finding the answers. They'd start building the blocks towards better performances. But what I think we're seeing now is they're getting worse and worse with every passing game. And fairly average opposition are hammering them on a routine basis.
Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? It had not been a good season up to this week, but you can tell yourself a story around, we've had a bad run of fixtures, or then we have a good week against Villa and Real, they beat them both, but then they get beat by City, but you're like, well, they didn't play well at all.
But that can always happen.
But it can happen. And then they've come back from this international break, and you think a bit of a break, might help them, regroup a little bit, go and, play in the national teams, come back, and like you say, Neil, they've been thumped by two teams who are pretty average. Forest, they've got a couple of good players, a few good players, but they're not great, and they do us 3-0. And then today, that PSV team, they didn't look all that at all. And I don't remember watching football teams give up on the pitch, watching Liverpool teams give up on the pitch. I remember saying, I've seen Liverpool teams not try. Liverpool teams not put it in. You can count on two hands in my whole life. Don't know how many times you've seen that. No matter how bad it got under certain managers, you always saw them, you always putting it in. It went 3-1 and they just give up. They just stop. They just crap passes sideways to the opposition, not tracking back. I never want to see Liverpool teams get booed off, but they were lucky there was only so many in the ground today, to be honest with you, because the booing would have been louder, because you can't just give up on the pitch. You can't just stop and just say, we were not going to win now, so I'm going to go through the motions. It was pathetic at 3-1. It's not great before, but to go 3-1 and then just go on, just going to...
statement that you don't waste.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, even at 2-1, the crowd's still behind them, and you think, well, we get one here, we could go on and win it, and, the crowd's sticking with them, and then Karate just... He's fucking crap for that third, isn't he? Absolutely awful. What happens after isn't brilliant either, and then they just stop, and you're just like, well, why am I even sat here? I'm not surprised that many left. I'm not surprised people booed.
I can't remember the last time that it looked to me that the manager, the players, and the fans in Anfield had all given up.
Fucking hell, it's a long while because we're spoiled because we're good. But the fans, to be honest, I fucked off on 77 minutes, so I've got no right to tell anyone not to boo if they're still in the ground, I suppose. But anyone booing can fuck off. That's just not what we do. You can fuck off early, that's no problem with that. You shouldn't be booing them, I don't care how bad they are, do you know what I mean? That's just not our style. But I can understand why people are frustrated, wanting to get off early. It's not a lot of people walking in here like, he's got to go already, do you know what I mean? It's hard to turn it hard like that round when you're watching players, as John just said. I'm on record a lot saying what I think about Konate. I don't think he's ever been very good. I think he's been okay for a long period of his career. But fucking hell, mate, you can't keep playing him. He cost us a goal every single week, and quite often it's the first one. And as we now know, it's pivotal. If we score the first goal, we'll win. And if we concede it, we're absolutely knackered. He keeps playing him and playing him and playing him, and Joe Gomez must be looking going, what the fuck have I got to do here? So I can understand people's frustrations in terms of the manager. I don't want to give it the boom one little bit. If you want to get off that sound. As I say, I've done that tonight. I've got off on 70 odd minutes, but fuck all that booing and all that shit off. That's just not Liverpool at all. The bigger questions are though, where do we go from here and how do we change it? And listen, I'll be honest, I wouldn't like to be in the manager's shoes at all, because with the squad you're looking at, there's a couple of tweaks you can make, but to turn this ship round now, fuck knows.
Well, he gave us an interview today, I think it's earlier today, or perhaps yesterday, and he's asked, and he says that he's as confused as everybody else. I'm sure you've seen it, the clip where he says he's confused about what's going wrong when he doesn't have the answers. And
well, that's reassuring at least.
I thought you and me both, Anna. But I mean, obviously that's not what you want to hear. You want to hear a manager talking about working tirelessly. We've always liked, or a lot of us have liked his openness, how direct he is. But it's getting to the point now where I don't want to hear that sort of talk before the Reds are playing at Anfield after losing every week. I want to hear that we're searching for solutions, we're looking for answers. But as you said, he has a limited pool of players to pick from at the moment, because in some positions where he could make changes, the alternatives are injured or absent. Others are woefully out of form, and so's the next in line. And in some positions there just isn't really an alternative. Like, I want to see Konate dropped. I've wanted to see him drop for weeks now. What's the choice? Play Gravenberch there? Play Endo there? He keeps saying that Gomez isn't even training. But if you keep picking that same team, it's the old quote, doing the same thing over and over again, definition of insanity, and expecting different results. Once again, when I saw the lineup tonight, apart from Ekitike coming in, who I wanted to see play at the weekend, and Isak's on the bench, and I would have seen him start tonight, he's switched around Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones. What else is open to him at the moment?
Not a huge amount, really. Obviously people want to see Chiesa starts. There's people coming away saying, maybe pick Endo. At least there's some people tackling in the middle. We're not with him much, on the ball. But
Chiesa's attitude is fantastic, and his mind is as sharp as ever, but his body isn't.
My attitude's fantastic, and my mind's sharp as shit, but I'm crap at football, and so's he.
But I see Chiesa trying to do the right things time and time again, and his body just isn't what it was.
But he looks like he's got pride. I didn't see a lot of pride there, just on the pitch. And he looks like he's someone who gives a shit about what's going on. At least, Endo, would give 100%. You might say there's much better footballers around than him, but I don't think he'd give up on the pitch like those players did there. There's talk of, do you just play a right back? He's got a right back there that Liverpool have paid money for, as a youngster. Did all right, Ramsey in the League Cup. Do you play him just to have a right back, just to have someone there, because Curtis Jones, it didn't really work for him, today, there, and Szoboszlai, you can see you want him in midfield, and so there are options there for him, but there's not loads, there's not sort of loads of different things, and that's part of the problem is, when you say, like, I've really known it as bad as this, in terms of not just the results, but how they look on the pitch, and towards the end of games, and people are, like Kev says, saying, like, the manager's got to go, and you want to say, well, you need to give him time, but it's time to do what? It's time to, like, what's he moving towards? What are we transitioning towards? What are we looking to move towards? There's not really many new players on the pitch today. For the outfield players, there's a new centre forward, but we all wanted. The Darwin Núñez experiment and we all wanted a new forward. We've got one, he looks good. And then a new left back who we were saying all last season we needed a new left back, so it was them two, and then 8 who've been there, albeit with a lad filling in at right back. But listen, clubs have to do that all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, Arsenal got injuries, City got injuries, you have to move people around and play them out of position. That's no excuse for what we're seeing at the moment, and so there's no obvious fix. There's no, if we get a few players back then, or if he just does this with the formation or whatever, they look a mess. Like, second half, at one point Szoboszlai goes, I'm just going to try and press, and then one lad goes with him and the others are looking at him like he's got two heads, and maybe he shouldn't be doing that. Maybe the instruction is not to do that, but and then you end up in a bit of a mess because you got two lads pressing, you got the other lads looking like, oh, fucking hell, he's keen. Do you know what I mean? And like, you're just like
Ekitike and Szoboszlai.
Yeah,
we're both going.
Yeah, and the others are like,
no support.
Yeah, go ahead, lads. But then they beat the press because there's only two of them, and then there's big gaps everywhere. It's a mess off the ball, absolute mess off the ball, and on it, obviously, it's not clicking either. And you put all that together, they just don't look like a team at all. And the manager's, he's asked them to go again and said, well, we'll show the action they haven't now. So before Sunday, I don't know what his move is, because you can't just send them out again for Sunday. Can't get beat by West Ham.
They were McCarthy. He can.
but they were pushed up so high, PSV, at the start. They were pushed up so high, I thought there's going to be plenty of space between them here. If we get this ball moving, we're going to be able to play through these. And there were times in the first half when we did that, and I thought, these don't particularly impress me. I didn't think they looked like a great side. Far from it. I thought we could cut them open. But if you'd have said to me at the start of the game, what would you like to see? I'd have loved to have seen a controlled 2-0. And the first 20 minutes were fucking mental. Just batshit. You've got the captain, one of the best centre-halves in the club's history. An inexplicable handball. And giving away a penalty in what...
Even his booking was a bit mad, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And it's as far from calm as you like when you're swatting a lad on the touchline for no reason.
Yeah, I think
He's feeling the pressure, Virgil, I think.
I think because he's feeling the responsibility. I think he's probably the one out of all of them who feels the most responsible for it. Neil's been saying this week, you can't be a mercurial centre-half, and the other most experienced player in the team is Mo. But they're not the players who grab you through these moments, are they? Players like Mo, players like, even like Suarez and that. They drag you through when they're great, but when the chips are down, they're not the ones that bring it out. Virgil is the real leader in that team, and you're right, he probably is feeling the pressure, but at the same time, that damn ball, I haven't seen it back, but it looked mad. The fucking snapping the fella, and I'm just thinking, oh lads, if you could just radiate a little bit of calmness. But I can understand why he's not calm, by the way, playing against next to that big fucking jump, because he is absolutely terrible, and he has been for such a consistent period of time that I keep trying to convince myself that it's not time for the manager to go. But with every word used to saying and every thought I'm having about it, it goes to me thinking, well, if he keeps fucking playing him, it's the manager's fault. And then the other thing I was thinking when you two were both talking then was the discussion about the manager is solely this. Is there another manager out there who gets better out of this squad of players? And I'm telling you that there is. I don't know whether it is per se, it might, whether it's, I'm not going to like go him or him. But what I mean is, that's not a bad squad of players. It's full of absolute champions, literal and also figuratively, in terms of the ability that these players have got. And Arne Slot, he really needs to go. Boys, what do I need to do to get you going again here? He might have to ask the players. It might have to be one of those moments where the manager says, listen, I'm not sure here, boys. I need your help. And just get the feedback of them. Because I'm telling you right now, there'll be multiple other managers out there going, if I had that squad of players, they wouldn't be playing like that. And if the managers that are watching it are thinking that, and listen, the teams that are playing against us, they're rubbing their hands together. Well, Arne Slot has got to go, well, I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, because I can't believe how much the pressure's mounted on him in my head, from walking out to the ground to walking in here. But the more you think about it, and the more you try and logically, calmly talk ourselves through, how do we get out of this? Fucking hell, mate, there's one easy situation 9 times out of 10, and it's not the players. You know, because you're not selling the players, it's what doesn't happen. So he's got it. Listen, it's piss all off the pot time, isn't it? It turns out. I didn't think that's 20 minutes ago, but I talked myself into it. He's got to now come out, and it's got to be, I don't know whether it's got to be drastic changes in terms of tactics. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but it might have to be. Kanate, go away, or listen, I'm giving Kanate all the time because I fucking hate him, but it could be any of them. McAllister, he's been terrible for ages. It might have to be that he says to some players who have won Liverpool the league last year, you're not good enough, and I'm happy to bring you back in a few months' time, but for now, you're out. And this fella's in, and listen.
But I felt like that's what he would have done last year. He was quite ruthless when he came in, you know, with certain players and certain things, and now it feels like it's like all of that's gone, and I don't really understand why. Whether he just doesn't feel like he's got enough options, but you know what it is. But he's just like, it's just like no matter how shit you play, you're back in next week.
There's loads of examples of that as well. Gakpo's not been great. McAllister's not been great. I'm not going to say Kanate again because I feel a bit sorry for him. Sorry if you're watching it, but I think you're a lovely fella. Shit at centre half. But there's loads of them, and I don't think it's loyalty, because he doesn't strike me as the type of fella who's making decisions based on what they've done for him previously.
I think he's run out of ideas.
Yeah, but
I simply think he's run out of ideas. If you could say any name here apart from Dominic Szoboszlai, and I'd probably agree with you, that there's a case.
Make him manager.
There's a case.
Make him manager, right back and centre mid, and he'd still be able to fucking do it.
You'd clone him if you would. If you could, you'd clone him. But they were just so easy to play through again. I lose track of which goal I'm even on here now. The second goal. Where
the centre.
Where Salah goes to your man?
Goes round him, yeah.
Goes round him.
And then he carries the ball 15 yards.
So far, and then plays a ball through the middle of the defence. Kirkes is so slow to read the danger on the opposite flank. Doesn't track his man.
He's got that.
No, he tracks him, sorry, but he's behind him because he was slow to go initially.
I think your left back's always going to be that side. I think, like, you know, he's coming in. If it's a good ball and he takes it first time, I think your left back's going to struggle. Yeah. I think the problem is, once he beats Salah, and he beats Salah easy, but fucking hell, he's a fucking right winger, do you know what I mean? Like, he beats him too easy, but not one of his main strengths. And then he just carries it. He just runs and runs, and like you've got McAllister and Gravenberg just looking at him. There shouldn't be that much space for him to go into and then just find a pass like that. That's the problem. If you give decent players, they're not even great players, decent players, all the time in the world to pick a pass, and you've got runners, they'll do it. They'll do it all day.
But if we're conceding so many goals so consistently, has it not entered his thoughts, well, I've got to get my holding midfielder
He just doesn't think he's got one.
sitting, or get McAllister closer to him and play as a 2 in front of the back 4.
Anything.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but
You've got to tighten it up.
We've got to tighten it up. But the thing is, when you're playing someone like Kerkers, I didn't actually think Kerkers was maybe defensively shaky, but I thought, okay,
He's there going forward. The signs that he's linking a little bit.
Yeah, he's getting there a little bit. He's showing some glimmers, isn't he? But again, if you want to play with a player like that, well, you've got to have a player on the other side who tucks in and makes it solid, or a centre midfielder who drops in as a third centre half effectively. And if we ain't seeing that, and that's not groundbreaking football knowledge, is it? That's just what you have to do. You have to cover the pitch. The blanket goes one way, you have to twist it the other to get it there, like Rafa used to do. If he's not seeing that, but the thing is, it's not that he isn't seeing it. He can see everything that's going on, but whether he's paralysed by a fear of fuck, like I don't want to make the change now because it can get worse. But honestly, it can't get any worse than what we're playing at the moment. We are absolutely fucking woeful.
Well, in recent weeks he's been throwing subs on, just throwing them on,
shit at the wall.
But today it almost looked for the first time he just stood there and he didn't have a reaction, he didn't have a response until he makes the Chiesa change.
Well, he loses at TK, Dory, so that's like one down.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting what he would have done if that wouldn't have happened, whether he had the ball to Isaac on and played the 2 of them. But obviously, then I think once he's gone that, he's like, well, I've got to wait and see a little bit here. I don't think the subs are a massive issue today, really. I think, in 2...
They're low down on the list of priorities.
Even at 2-1, they're still in it. Even at 2-1,
yeah.
I'm thinking, and then Isaac comes on and I'm thinking, this is moments. Get a brace, fucking win the game. Like.
And then Ibu's misread the ball.
Yeah, and then that happens, and then they just fuck it up at 3-1, and then everyone just goes, which isn't good enough, but that I suppose is understandable because
we've had weeks of that now, haven't we? Going back to the Palace game, obviously there was a lot of debate at the time about whether you agreed with what he did or not, effectively throwing that game against Palace. But that was the first time in a long time where a manager said, sent out a Liverpool team to lose. Not to lose, he sent out a team that in all likelihood...
That game, don't forget that game on its own, had it not gone the way it's gone, I wouldn't even be able to say what the score was. And obviously now...
But
my point is more, that game against Palace, he sends out that team, and on, 75, 80 minutes, people started emptying the ground, leaving Anfield, because Liverpool were beat. They didn't see us coming back. And I think at the time it was 2-0, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think so. It's a late one, isn't it? People left, they had no hope and they gave up. And now we're seeing that.
Every week.
Fans streaming to the exits. And, you talked about the booing earlier. I hate to hear the booing. You can count on one hand, really, how many games in the last 20 years I can remember.
I'm embarrassed that people have booed.
Booing. But it's happened tonight. And as you said, a lot of people are walking in here saying he's got to go. And I think we'll always have huge, and we do have, admiration and love for him.
Look, you're doing us a bitch.
No, but he's won a 20th league title. He's always acted, I think, with class and dignity.
Yeah, he's been quite statesman-like.
In the summer, he handled 2 difficult situations very well.
And the thing is, we have got to take that into account. Some people won't like to hear that. Fucking hell, mate, what they've gone through. Whether you thought it was going to affect them or whether you thought it was going to spur them on, clearly it is affecting them. That is 100% a part of what's happened, but for me it's by no means the whole picture, do you know what I mean? So I don't know, it just feels like fucking hell, we shouldn't be turning on him en masse after what he's done for us and what he's been through. So I'm not turning on him, but what I am saying is, please, for fuck's sake, do something new, do something different, and if it goes to shit, so what? We're crap anyway with what we're currently doing. Just have a go at doing something new and saving it, because honestly, it'll be such a shame if it goes the way that a lot of people coming out of that ground now see it going, because he doesn't deserve that. He's had listen, he's had a lot of money to spend, but he's had to deal with some fucking absolute madness that no one else has ever had to do. Not that no one else has ever had to deal with, but it's basically unprecedented. And I just want him to go. I want him to rage against the dying of the light, effectively. I want him to go, fuck this then. That's not working. I will do. Here's what I want. I want him to say, I will fucking fight and die and leave everything I've got on that pitch. And if it's not enough, fine. But I don't want him to just keep doing what he's doing and doing what he's doing.
Yeah, going out with a whimper, innit, at the moment. It was a beautiful speech, that kid. I felt like coming with you. But no, he's going out with a whimper at the moment. And what you want is like, I don't think he's ever really like understood or harnessed the power of the crowd. And listen, he's coming after a fella who was like amazing at that, and that was his thing. And the different fellas, and that's fine. But like, if he just picked.
That'd be an easy win, wouldn't it? Now after today, if he just got the crowd behind him.
But just went. I'm just gonna, instead of Gakpo, who everyone's fucking sick of at the moment, I'm gonna pick Rio and Gamoa, and he's just gonna run at people, and everyone's gonna get excited. I'll pick Endo, and I think he's shit. That's the manager, by the way. I quite like him, but the manager's going, listen, I think he's shit, but he'll tackle 8 lads and he'll wear a gum shield, and that'll get people going. I'll pick a right back. I'll drop Konate because they all eat him, and I'll pick Gomez. And if he gets injured, well, fuck it, I'm not playing him anyway. And you can do all that, and it'll at least get the crowd a little bit involved and a little bit like, and then we can feel like, you know, we're sort of part of something. And then once you get that sort of snowball going, and then suddenly, you know, others start feeling like they've got more energy. But there's nothing for either of us to feed off at the moment. So pick a few lads who people have been asking for, who are going to at least, you know, they might not be like, you might not want to start them in a Champions League final, but at the moment we just need to fucking get a point at West Ham. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what we need at the moment. We need a point at West Ham. So pick a team to do that, and then fucking go from there, and then we'll build from there, instead of trying to be perfect now, because we're so far from it. It is absolutely unbelievable. And by the way, the goalie played like he had 4 pints this afternoon because he didn't think he was playing. His mates have come to town.
We've all been there, mate.
Honestly, his mates have come to town, and he's like, they've gone for food, and he's like, yeah, I'll come for food. And then they've all had the drink, and he's like, fucking Ali's going to play, isn't he? He's had 2 glasses of red wine with some tapas.
He's got a sniffly nose, and he's like, that's shit!
I've not seen it back, but that one early on at the start where it was offside.
Oh, he was awful.
I didn't know what was going on.
Neither did he.
No, didn't have a clue.
But he had a lot of time to get ready for that cross.
But then
he
he
still
also
wasn't.
probably doesn't expect Curtis Jones to be trying to chip the ball
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
over people's heads in the penalty area. I mean, we were shooting ourselves in the foot all night long.
The ref was a strange cat as well, wasn't he? Like, did you want to where we took a throw in, and he was like, hey, just take that again. And we were like, why? And he was like, I just enjoyed it. Just have another go. I love throws. Fucking weird, fella.
I tell you what, John Gibbons has shown some fight, and he's shown some energy that I didn't feel like I had here.
I just feel like...
Get you and Dominic Szoboszlai in that starting 11.
It was Kev's speech, honestly. It got me going. Got me going.
We need someone at the moment. Fucking hell, Reds.
All you need is Kev.
Take me to West Ham with your Arnie.
Fucking hell, all the best.